follow these commandments, you are guaranteed happiness, perfect happiness in this world. And tells us in Surah 21, verse 142, that if you disregard these commandments, you are guaranteed a miserable life. So it is very important for us to know these laws with regard to every aspect of our lives. And today I'm going to share with you the commandments dealing with marriage. There are two requirements that must be fulfilled for two people to get married. And these are, number one is love. And we see this in Surah 4, verse 24. The Arabic is فَمَا اسْتَمْتَعْتُمْ بِهِ مِنْهُنْ, the ones that you like, you get married to. So love must exist between the two. And this cannot happen without good acquaintance with the person. You must know the person, you must know his or her habits, and you must know his or her temper, you must know his or her principles. You must know the person. You cannot love a person without knowing that person. So this calls for a period of acquaintance, getting to know each other. And then based on that knowledge, you will either love the person or not. And God tells you, if you love the person, then you get married. God says that if this is the person intended for you, God will put love in your hearts. And this is in Surah 30, verse 21. So the first requirement before ever becoming intimate is love. You must know each other very well, and you must be in love with each other. And God will help you along if this is the right person. If you don't love the person, that is not the right person for you. The second requirement is dowry for the wife. And we understand throughout the Quran, we understand from the Quran that the purpose of the dowry is security for the woman. Because in many cases, you are taking a girl from her parents' house, then she becomes dependent on the husband. This is the majority of wives in the whole world. And you can't just throw her out after a year or two, because she's not the same person. And after what the Quran calls a formidable oath has been made between the two of you. So the purpose of the dowry is security. And this can be obtained by writing a contract and paying the dowry in advance, or saying that if divorce takes place or if the marriage breaks up, then the wife must be given a certain amount of money that will provide her security. The Quran is very careful in this respect. Even where divorce, in Surah 2, verse 240 and 241, we see that divorces must be given alimony or some kind of security. In Surah 65, the first verse says very carefully that you can't kick the wife out of your house. And this provides security for the wife. This is the divorced wife. And you cannot even fabricate conditions and situations to make them so miserable that they live on their own. You must guarantee their housing and staying with their children, and she will not be the man's wife. He cannot touch her, but she has to stay in that house. She must be provided with security of housing, provisions, and this is throughout the Quran. So this is the purpose of the dowry. These are the two conditions. There must be a sufficient period of time for the two people to know each other and to satisfy the first requirement of love before becoming intimate. What is is being done now, what my parents did, and what is happening in most Muslim countries, is they actually do the official marriage. And then the now husband and wife, they don't touch each other, they do not become intimate. But this marriage, official marriage, gives them a chance to be together alone, hold hands, go places, know each other. And then after months or a year or years, the marriage is consummated. And of course, during this period, if it doesn't work out, they break up. They find somebody else. And she is still a virgin. And she still hasn't lost her chances. This is how my parents got married. This is how my sister got married. How long were you? You did the marriage first, and then how long was it before consummating the marriage?
We didn't.
You didn't. You didn't the American way. Huh?
3 years.
Okay, there were 2 years between Katb al-Kitab, which is the...
No. Just
oh, there was an engagement.
Engagement.
And then 2 years. And then you did the official marriage and the consummation at the same time. So you had 2 years of knowing each other. If I was in Egypt, you wouldn't do it. No, I'm just kidding.
You didn't go outside.
Oh, you didn't go outside, huh? You had a chaperone all the time. Okay. I'm satisfied now. But this is really the way it is done with most marriages in the Muslim world. Worship in Islam and all practice in Islam and all the commandments that God gave us are based on self-discipline and self-control. I mean, Ramadan is coming up where you're going to tell your body you're not going to eat or drink until sunset. This is it takes self-discipline and self-control. Where self-discipline and self-control is lost, the human being becomes worse than animals. And there's a specific reference in the Quran for this. In Surah 7, verse 179, God calls some people, they are like animals, even worse. I mean, what is happening now in this country and in Europe is that people meet, they don't even know each other, let's hop in bed. This is worse than animals. Because you can take a female cat or a female dog or a female horse that is not in heat, not in that proper period, and put her in the midst of 200 best-looking, horny males. Can they touch her? They will not touch her. They cannot touch her because it is not the proper time. But with human beings, the way it is done now here, it's a lot worse than animals. They're worse than animals. And these are the laws that God lays down for our happiness. Because, especially for the woman, I mean, she cheapens herself when she acts this way. For the man too. So the two requirements, I'm repeating again, are that long period of time where people must know each other and must fall in love before becoming intimate. So remember, love before intimacy. And the dowry, that is to provide security for the wife. Now, the Quran leaves room for forfeiting the dowry if the wife is independently wealthy. And being married or unmarried or divorced or widowed or whatever will not affect her security. Then she can forfeit the dowry. But we have examples of a man who is holding a fantastic position and is wealthy and his ex-wife is on welfare. And that's not fair. This is what the Quran, this is what God's law are supposed to avoid, a situation like that. So it is to the best, for the benefit of the girl to demand her right when the situation calls for it. Tubu ilallah.